Imagine a time when great armies roamed vast forests and mighty empires expanded without challenge. It was in these times of conquest and steel that a single child, armed with no soldiers and no weapons, managed to change the course of a raid, leaving behind a legend that has been whispered for centuries. This is the forgotten story of a child who outsmarted an entire army. An invading force, hundreds of soldiers strong, advanced through the rugged, mist-shrouded mountains. Their objective was simple and brutal: to plunder the villages that dotted the landscape, assert their dominance, and crush any resistance they encountered. Their banners, barely visible through the thick morning fog, announced their menacing presence. But one of these villages, nestled deep within the ancient woods, hid a secret far more powerful than its people. From high above in the treetops, a child, perhaps no older than 8 or 9, watched the invaders' steady advance. They carried no sword, no bow and arrow. Their only tools were a deep, intuitive knowledge of the forest and a cleverness that far surpassed their years. As the army marched below, the child saw not an unstoppable force, but an opportunity. The child understood a fundamental truth: fear and perception can be more potent weapons than any blade. An idea began to form, a daring plan that relied on illusion. Using a collection of fallen leaves, dry sticks, and the careful placement of small concealed fires, the child set to work. The goal was to create the convincing illusion of a fortified camp, one that appeared far larger and more formidable than reality. From the perspective of the advancing army, the forest suddenly came alive. Torches flickered in the distance, casting long, dancing shadows that seemed to belong to hundreds of warriors. The rhythmic beat of drums echoed through the trees, a sound that promised a fierce and organized defense. What they perceived as a massive force lying in ambush was, in truth, the work of one small child, masterfully controlling the illusion from the shadows. The commanders of the invading army hesitated. A wave of uncertainty washed over them. Whispers and rumors began to spread like wildfire among the soldiers. A massive force awaits us in the trees. One would say, they've been tracking us for miles. Another would claim. Panic began to erode their discipline, replacing cold, calculated strategy with primal fear. In just a few moments, a single child had managed to completely disrupt the morale of an entire army. Convinced that the forest was teeming with hidden enemies, ready to spring a deadly trap at any moment, the commanders made their decision. The order was given to withdraw. The army turned back, retreating into the very mist from which they had emerged. Not a single arrow was fired. Not a single sword was drawn from its sheath. A battle was won without a single casualty, all because of a clever illusion. The child became a local legend, a powerful symbol of how ingenuity and courage can triumph over brute force. Stories passed down through generations say that the villagers still teach their children the lesson learned that day. The sharpest mind can defeat the strongest foe. The tale serves as a timeless reminder that true strength isn't always measured in numbers or weapons. History is so often told through the grand narratives of battles, generals, and sprawling empires. We remember the names of conquerors and the dates of great sieges. But sometimes, history is shaped by the quiet, unseen forces by a single child, a dense forest, and a clever idea that changed the outcome of events. These are the stories that teach us the most profound lessons, the ones often forgotten by the history books. Some stories are shouted across the centuries, their echoes impossible to ignore. Others, like this one, wait quietly in the shadows for the right eyes and ears to find them. Thank you for watching. And always remember, cleverness, courage, and perception are sometimes mightier than even the greatest of armies.